and answering the questions that matter to us. Join the conversation. This is the Front Bench.
This is the Front Bench. 0709602592 is our WhatsApp number. You can send in your questions and comments through that WhatsApp number. At a later stage, I will be sampling them. Of course, directing them to the Dr. Cosmas Mwikirize, as well as Honorable Minister Dr. Monica Mosenero. I also do have the pleasure, because we're going to be talking issues concerning technology, innovation and science. What has been done by the ministry to ensure that Ugandans become innovative? What has been done by the ministry to ensure that Ugandans embrace science and technology? Honorable Minister, good to have you on the show. Thank you so much for sparing time.
Thank you, Jethro. Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers. I am really excited to be here today. And I want to open our conversation this evening by stating that there is an industrial revolution which is going on.
Okay.
And this is the first industrial revolution that we are participating in as a country, and generally Africa as a continent. And it is very, very important that we do not miss it. And us as Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat, we are very, very keen to make sure that Uganda grasps this opportunity and we run forward and develop our economy, because we missed the first 3 industrial revolutions, and this one is ours. We are going to take it, and I would like Ugandans to feel that vibe that this is a moment for development and transformation. So what do we do as Science, Technology and Innovation? Science, technology and innovation is not a sector in the strict sense that it is a sector with a cordoned off area. We develop the new technologies, the new innovations which drive the economy in every sector. If your science, technology and innovation is weak, then you are either you don't have new technologies, and I've been cautioned by Jethro here that many Ugandans, when we think about technology, we think about computers. No, we are talking about a wide range of technologies. For example, you need to develop new medicines, and then those medicines will drive your healthcare. You need to develop new communication tools. You need to develop, like we've developed vehicles, then the vehicles drive the transportation. You need to develop new materials which you are using, new fertilizers, such that your agriculture can run. You need to develop technologies to process and add value to your agricultural products. So science is an approach to the economy. And it's the only known tool that helps an economy to shift from one level to another. And by shifting, I mean something like an airplane. Let's use an example of an airplane. An airplane at the airport starts by moving and can move until it reaches that level where it is taxiing. And is really moving fast. But in shifting, when the airplane takes off, it has shifted everything. It's no longer running on the ground. It has shifted to a different sphere. So that's what science does for the economy, and that is what we have positioned it to do for the Ugandan economy at the moment.
Honorable, you've talked about the status of the system. How best is it positioned to contribute to the tenfold growth of the economy?
Actually, science, technology and innovation is that new energy which must penetrate all these sectors in order to raise them up, as I've illustrated using an airplane taking off. So science, technology and innovation has been identified now to be one of those key drivers, and has been positioned by the national planners as one of what they call ATMs. ATMs is agro-industrialization, tourism, mineral development and value addition, including oil and gas, and the S is science, technology, and innovation. So science is not only going to create new things, which I'm going to mention in a moment, but science will have to bring new energy, new innovations to bring about the agro-industrialization. Science will have to bring about new innovations for us to lift our tourism to a new level. Science will have to bring new innovations in order for us to add value to our minerals. And then science has to create new sectors which have not been there before in order for us to take the economy to the tenfold. So actually, science has been identified as the fuel which will fuel the tenfold growth, because it is like it has to go into every sector, shift it from where it has been to a new energy level, and then we begin to move. For example, when we talk about new sectors, Uganda wasn't producing cars. We were not known as car producing. But now you move around the streets and you see those state-of-the-art glowing Kayola buses. That's a new sector which has come. When we talk about adding value and shifting, tomorrow we have a very important event. We are going to flag off our first container of Uganda roasted and ground coffee to the Balkans. Now this is a new, which has not happened before. Uganda has been known to sell green beans, but now we are going to be selling roasted coffee with a totally new value. From the $2.5 we have been getting, now we are getting a lot more, many times, because of science, technology, and innovation. So that is how it comes in and transforms the sectors, but it also creates the new sectors.
Honorable, before I cross to Dr. Cosmos, you've talked about science and technology and innovation being one of the key drivers. How long do you have to ensure that you come up with all these things, because you have to propel Uganda to this $500 billion economy that is in the next 1.5 decades?
Yes, now the beauty with science is we use knowledge and information and data to calculate everything. So we have worked out a strategy and we are projected at what kind of things do we have to do? What kind of things do we have to do this year, next year, the following year, in order to take the economy to that tenfold growth? So it has all been worked out. We know that there are surprises which are going to come, but we expect the surprises to accelerate us instead of decelerating us, because we are ready now. Nothing is really taking us by surprise, because we are looking, any surprise that comes, we grab it. Even if it is negative, we convert it into positive. As I was introducing, I was saying that our raw material is challenge. Wherever there is a challenge, we grab it. Once you are using science, technology, and innovation, any challenge which comes, you turn it into advantage. And that's how I love Ugandans to position. We position challenges as opportunities. They are not coming to kill us. They are opening up new spaces of markets and needs, both internal and externally, for us to be able to think and create new products. So we have come up with a strategy which is beginning. We have started the implementation this year, which is ending, and we will be continuing into National Development Plan 4. So we have a strategy which is actually planned in monies. I have 8 industrial value chains which are prioritized now, and those industrial value chains, each we have planned and projected how much money they should generate into the economy for us to reach our quota of the GDP.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable. Dr. Cosmos, Honorable Minister has talked about how you transform challenges to be advantages, right? We want to understand some of the specific innovations that have had really most significant economic impact so far.
Thank you very much, Jethro. The Honourable Minister has talked about areas, broad areas that we have focused on, because again, as part of our strategy, we can't do everything. We have to touch a few areas which we think have the highest potential to yield a lot of dividend, and this we call industrial value chains. We have industrial value chains that we call the new economy, creating products and services in areas that we have not been known to contribute. The Honourable Minister mentioned mobility, the mobility industrial value chain. I'm sure Jethro, you know about Chira Motors Corporation. So this is dealing with how we start to create an indigenous automotive manufacturing industry in Uganda. Then we have what we call the pathogen economy. As you know, Uganda imports more than 95% of its pharmaceutical needs, including drugs, including medical devices. So we need to start chipping away on that. And the situation is actually not unique to Uganda. It also goes all the way to the rest of Africa, meaning that we have a unique opportunity to be front runners in this paradigm, because the African market is prime and waiting for us. Mm-hmm. Then we also have what we call Industry 4.0 plus. This is the fourth industrial revolution. These frontier technologies that are shaping the global technology landscape, things like robotics, smart electronics manufacturing, artificial intelligence. And then infrastructure innovations, building the engineering capacity of our nation so that we start to, as you know, Jethro, engineering actually contributes more than 65% of any product you have on you, be it your shirt, be it your watch, be it your phone. Then aeronautics and space science, and for lack of time, I will not really go through all of them. Of course, we have the traditional economy, who are focusing on the commodities that we have traditionally been selling in raw form, your coffees, your cassavas, your beef and dairy, especially those which are emanating from the parish development model. Now, quickly, I'll give you a highlight of what we have been able to do over the past few years. Now, as you may recall, in 2016, and government has really supported science, technology and innovation. The NRM government, His Excellency the President, the main champion of science. Government has done a lot for science over time, starting from establishing specialized universities that are focusing on STI, like Mbara University of Science and Technology, and you know now we have more than 10 public universities spread throughout, and all of these have an STI leaning. We have specialized research institutions. We have been supporting innovators through the presidential initiatives and later on the Innovation Fund. And then in 2016, we created this ministry for science, technology and innovation. But then the progress wasn't moving as fast as we wanted. And that is why government took this radical approach to change the implementation framework for science in 2021, creating this Secretariat for Science, Technology and Innovation in the Office of the President. And so all the progress that I'm going to talk about has really happened over the past 4 years. In mobility, for example, I don't know if you have been to the Chira vehicle plant. It is easily the largest and most competent electric vehicle manufacturing plant on the African continent. It has capacity of more than 2,500 buses in annual production, and that we are trying to even increase it to 5,000. It's already created jobs for more than 700 of our young people. We are already localizing the value chain for the automotive industry. We have already reached about 40%. The target for 2040 that you talked about is 65%. And we haven't stopped at Chira Motors. We call these first initiatives that we front to open the gateway, we call them Pathfinder initiatives. So Chira Motors is the Pathfinder, and we have built on that to also now organized what we call the e-mobility consortium. We have more than 80 players in the ecosystem. We have developed an e-mobility strategy which has specific targets that we ensure that we run fast enough in terms of production capacity, in terms of investment, in terms of number of jobs, and in all this we have created so much value for the nation.
Doctor, on that very point, you talked about how our government has supported you as a ministry to come up with all these innovations. Have you tried to look into the challenges that Ugandans are facing before you come up with all these? Because what Ugandans want, if there is a challenge, how best can your ministry chip in to ensure that things are made simple as far as work is concerned, for example?
That's a very important question, Jethro. In fact, our priority industrial value chains are supposed to help us solve the challenges of the everyday Ugandan. The mobility that I just talked about, we focused on e-mobility. I don't know if you know Jethro, but Kampala is actually one of the most polluted cities on the African continent, among the top 5. So that's why we focused on e-mobility.
Yeah, you have about 50,000 motorcycles, right?
More than that.
Really? With about 40% local
yes.
content in it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So now, but we're not looking at just solving the challenge. We want to harness economic benefit. Talk about the pharmaceutical industry. During the COVID-19 pandemic, as you know, we were short of testing kits. I don't know if you remember, but there's a time a PCR kit was costing more than $60, and then all of a sudden the cost dropped more than half. That is because some of our scientists at Makerere University developed a kit that was more efficacious, but it could also perform the job at less than half the cost. And 2 million tests counting down the road, we have saved our nation more than $37 million. That's more than $140 billion in import substitution. And that's with an investment of not more than 3 billion Ugandan shillings. So that encapsulates what I think your point, what you're talking about. You're creating access to affordable medical care, but you're also creating economic benefit for the nation.
All right, Honorable, back to you. Let's talk about what you're doing as a ministry through science, technology, and innovation to promote the integration of across the critical sectors. I remember you were talking about what you're doing in health, education, but also other sectors. Let's try to dive deep to see how best Ugandans have to benefit from all this that you're doing.
Thank you very much, Jethro. The main work of the Secretariat is to think first. Think. You don't do things without thinking. How can we make this work? And then coordinate. We coordinate across the different sectors. And then we mobilize, because previously science was treated as some peripheral something, some luxury something which we will attend to when we have finished the main problems. Although the president has kept pushing and pushing, bringing it into the mainstream. So our work is to make sure that we keep the main thing, and the main thing is science. That is our work. And then to network. We make sure that we network and connect all the entities to focus on science, to make sure that we deliver what Uganda needs. And we work with all the sectors. We work with the government ministries because we found out that science, there is no single sector that can deliver on any one aspect of science. Because when sectors were being set up, they did not consider that. So we have to find a way to bring the different sectors to work together. For example, we are working on mobility. Now, mobility, there are different players in that sector. There is Ministry of Works, which is the user of the vehicles. But then you have Ministry of Energy, which is the one that has the energy. And then you have Ministry of Finance that needs to bring in the money. And then you have to have environment that is concerned about the environment. And then you'll find that in those vehicles, there is a lot of electronics, and so you have to bring in ICT. And so what we do is we identify for each of these industrial value chains or a particular aspect of the industrial value chain. And then we put up a ministerial team. I bring my colleague ministers in a room and say, this is what we are doing, this is what we need to do. Can we have a framework to work together? And then we usually put up a task force, which is interministerial. We bring together technical people from the different sectors, and they sit. We, at the secretariat, we coordinate. We remain the secretariat to keep driving that. And because of that, we have been able to push work really, really fast. We have been able to make things function. Because one of the challenges that government found, especially in the outgoing National Development Plan, one of the issues identified, which was highlighted, which was preventing science from working, was what was called as silos. Everybody was trying to do something complete of its own, but in science it doesn't work, because you are bringing different pieces of knowledge which are lying in different sectors to create a whole. I cannot sell just energy, one as a vehicle. Neither can I sell just the mechanical, the engineered piece. I need to have energy in the vehicle which has a metallic part, which is this, which has to move on a road, which has electronics. And so coordination is one of the things that we do, and it's one of the unique things that we have done to make science work. Of course, it is not as easy as I am making it, because making people understand how science works has been part of the major slowing factors, because different people were doing their things. Now you are coming in and bringing this new understanding. But we have made a lot of progress, and the more we have made a lot of progress together, and different sectors have come to understand, now we have been able to start moving and accelerating. And we find that it makes work cheaper to do. We all win together. And when we get funds from Minister of Finance, for us, we avail those funds to do the whole work. We can fund everybody to participate. And that has made it easy for us to move forward. We have one of our centers in Namamve, known as the Deep Tech Center, where we are producing computers, we are producing electronics, we are producing sensors. We're actually producing pieces that we're exporting, which are electronic. But you see, when you go in there, part of the work has to come from the Ministry of ICT. And then part of the work has to come from the Ministry of Energy. And so we all have to come together and work together. And I really want to thank my colleagues, the ministers. They have been very cooperative, and that has fed into the progress which we have.
All right, Honorable, we are going to take a very short commercial break. We shall come back with the weight that you carry as a ministry, because you have a duty to transform Uganda from analog to digital. But there is a question that has come in. Honorable Minister, there are many innovators, and recently I attended the launch of Bwera Innovation Limited, a vet company that produces assorted veterinary pharmaceuticals, mainly from local herbal extracts. They are at Uganda Research Institute, Nakawa Uria National Drug Authority. They really confirmed their rigorous research and development, and they intend to address dependency on imported veterinary inputs, which are believed to be of high price and faces stock outs sometimes, and also pests, and now resistant due to misuse and overuse. Many innovators are constrained with the problem of inadequate working capital, limited access to production machinery, among others. Like what Bwera faces, how best can they be assisted? Honorable Minister, you will answer that question when we do return from this short commercial break. Don't go away.
at the front bench, representing the various ministries and answering the questions that matter to us. Join the conversation. This is the front bench.
Buza Commissioner, enhancing tax education and bringing it closer to the taxpayers. Many Ugandans have questions about the taxes they pay to URA.
When we come at revenue, they tell us to clear Chitenge at 10,000. And when we are selling Chitenge, we sell it at 17. So we don't know whether we are working or not.
Understanding your tax obligations can help you grow your business and avoid unnecessary losses. Now, you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Fellow countrymen and women, these are our ministers and permanent secretaries at the front bench, representing the various ministries and answering the questions that matter to us. Join the conversation. This is the front bench.
All right, well, this is the front bench. Thank you so much for keeping it UBC TV. My name is Jethro Kasaigi. I do have officials from the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. Honorable, by the time we went in for that break, there is a question that I presented to you about Tabora Innovation. I don't know if it has really come to your attention. How best can these people be assisted?
Yeah, thank you, Jethro, and thank you, the team that has sent in this question. You know, when we started, it was like starting around a green field with a few things. So in the first years, we were trying to get the roads, we were trying to get the infrastructure, we were trying to get systems laid out. And so the public, we didn't have a lot to refer them to. But I want to inform the viewers that we have worked out quite a lot. Most of the systems are now in place. We have some good infrastructure in place. We have some good people now, human capital that understands CEO. And for many of you, what you need now is to contact us. At the Secretariat, we have what we call a one-stop center. One-stop center. And the Secretariat is at plot 106, Katalima Road, Naguru. So we have a one-stop center there, and if you go to our website, you'll find info@sti.go.ug. You can send a message, it goes straight to our one-stop center. The purpose of the one-stop center is to help our innovators to find us. As we grow, we are intending to go to regions such that people can reach us faster. But in this particular case, this group has already contacted us, and the team which works in that particular industrial value chain, which we call pathogen economy, they have already made an arrangement to meet. So we want to encourage innovators to find us. Now, we may not yet have been spread throughout Uganda for you to reach us easily, but you can reach us either at the Secretariat. If you send us a message and include your telephone number, we will reach you. Our support to innovators is not only financial. The first support to our innovators is to discuss with them, to understand how they have structured their innovation. Because many innovators come to us and they are not really very clear what they want to do. They have some idea there, but it's not streamlined. So the technical support that we provide for them to think through what they are trying to do, because it's not only about the technology, but does it make business sense? Will there be customers to buy that? Because innovation is not complete until there's a minimum number of clients willing to pay for it, because you're working on this so that you can sell it. So we provide technical support, and this is free. It doesn't matter whether you are highly educated or if you speak a language that's spoken on earth, we will find somebody who will help us understand what you're saying. That's the level of commitment that we have.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then we also, of course, have funding, but we also have infrastructures around, like Yuri is one of our facilities. So wherever we find them and their need, we will support them from there.
All right. Dr. Cosmos, let's talk about the weight that you carry as a ministry to transform Uganda and Ugandans from analog to digital through science, technology, and innovation.
That's a very important question, Jethro. Now, you see, the challenge we have is that we have lagged behind, because with most technologies we have relegated ourselves, or we have been relegated, either intentionally or unintentionally, to be consumers. Now, for any value chain, you can map it out in 3 areas. The first area would be inputs, raw materials, the people who extract them or produce them, and maybe do some little processing, what we call primary processing. I'll go now to the third one, which is the consumption. For example, if you're looking at what you're calling the digital economy, that would now be buying your computers, right? So the people who repair and maintain computers, that is the consumption economy. Now, the middle ground is where the value really lies. The people who create the products that you have in your hands. For example, in your digital economy, the people who make the microchips, the people who make the electronics devices that integrate these microchips into a phone, into a laptop, into a water pump that you use. That's where the value, that's where more than 90% of the value is. Now, you know, the government has actually placed a moratorium on export of raw mineral ores, because that's also the first phase. There's very little value there. If we just extract our mineral ores and export them without adding value, then it means we're not earning anything. We'd rather keep them in the ground until such a time when we are ready to add value to them. But now, to your question, now how do we ensure that we contribute to this middle tier, where we are creating products that have a lot of value that we can use? In other words, if you're talking about now, I think you must know about Internet of Everything, IoT, Internet of Things. Everything is connected, from your refrigerator to your camera to your phone. Everything is connected to your AC. So that's what informed our intervention to establish what we call the Deep Tech Center of Excellence in Namanve. And it is open. We've been running this for the past 4 years. Now, what we have done is try and leverage the little progress that has been happening in our ecosystem. We had some players who are operating at a micro scale, innovators, and we brought them in and we supported them. We gave them the space and we provided some minimal funding in order to scale up their operations. As I speak right now, we have developed end-to-end capacity from design and manufacturing of electronics. Jethro, we are making water meters in the country. We are making electric meters. We are making controllers for water pumps. We are making drones. We are making calculators. We are making laptops. We are making stick computers. In other words, you see like how you have a USB, you plug it into any digital screen and it immediately transforms that into a computer. So we're doing all this. Our young people are already developing these things. Now, how does the government intervene? If we can make it here, then we shouldn't import it. It is good to have some level of control for us to be able to develop our indigenous industries.
You've talked about, Doctor, about young people coming into this. How best have you prepared them and the future workforce for this driven economy that we are in?
Now, Jethro, there is no science, technology, and innovation system that can be better than the quality of its human capital. Now, you can also say that there is no human capital that is better than the quality of science, technology, and innovation pipeline. So it's a chicken and egg problem. Now, seeing as we have lagged behind, we need to run very fast. We know we have so many people in our ecosystem who have been trained, who have basic skills, but even the people who have been doing research and development, most of it has not been geared towards industrial development. Most of it has been either supporting consumption of products that are made out there, or just not supporting any value chain. So we pick those. We have programs that we call rapid conversion programs. So we pick those and rapidly convert them. We give them that little extra. We have facilities where they can access high-end machinery. We have specialized training programs. And by the way, not just technical skills, it's also about ideology. It's about patriotism. It's about integrity. These are soft skills that you cannot underestimate when it comes to innovation.
Before I cross to the minister, someone is asking, how do people of Uganda benefit? Isn't everything expensive as connected to that? I don't know. How best you can answer this person?
How do people
of Uganda benefit? Isn't everything expensive as connected to that? That is his question.
Yes, because what we're trying to do is create these value chains so that we create jobs for our people, so that we put more money into the economy. If I were to give you some figures, over the past 3 years, Jethro, we've created more than 70,000 high-quality jobs for our people. We have trained more than 3,000 industrial human capital. We have attracted more than 3.4 trillion into the economy in venture capital. This is money that wasn't there before. So, in a nutshell, that is how people are going to benefit, because for the first time, your engineering graduate is going to do an actual engineering job instead of just maintaining and repairing machinery that has been imported.
All right, Honorable Minister, someone is asking, I thank you so much for your commitment to the development of our country. I am interested to know, how far is the ECOP? I am Pastor Elisha Mogisha.
How far is what?
How far is the ECOP? ECOP. Yeah, you can take that away first, and then
how far is ECOP? Thank you very much for that question. I have to confess I'm not up to date with how far ECOP is, because it's in the Ministry of Energy, the building of the pipeline. So I don't want to give the public uncertain, but we can find out. And we give the viewer that we can contact at some point. Yes.
My name is Pande Derek from Kasoko. So thanks for the show, and I thank the Ministry of Innovation for the good services that towards the movement of our nation. With that, we are going to, but I suggest that more innovation and technology is needed in the agriculture sector to enhance increased production, so as to increase the GDP and create more jobs. Thanks. That is a comment from Derek Pande from
And
Kasoko.
I just want to invite Derek. This is ours. Innovation is us.
Yes.
So just come on board and let's make the contribution of those innovations. You see, the phase that I was saying at the beginning, that there is an industrial revolution which is happening. And what this industrial revolution is calling us is now us as Ugandans to own the innovation. We will be having Science Week in June, and that is going to be a place not only for you to see what others are innovating, but you are going to also have an opportunity to stop and think, what can I do? So we'll be very, very happy to welcome ideas.
Okay.
Yes, in that area.
Zila Edith is asking, why are the trainings carried out only in Makerere University? Why aren't they open to other universities and to other people who are interested in those trainings that contribute to the sector?
The trainings are not limited to Makerere. It could be just awareness, and we are expanding out. The trainings, actually, we have been working with most of the universities to do the trainings, but we have been piloting. As you may realize, these things have been, we have been piloting, and we are going to roll out the trainings. And also the establishment of our Pathfinder institutions, installations, now expand the training, because some of the training is in form of internships where you go and learn on the job. So now we are going to expand and make these opportunities. And I specifically wish to speak to the young people. The average age of my employees at the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat is below 20. I think it's about 25. It is for you. This is for you. So I want to encourage us to come on board, because don't exclude yourself. Don't see us as them versus us. It is us. And I would like to encourage you to come on board, because thinking anybody can think and come up with something.
Okay. Thank you, Jethro, for the presentation. This is Alex Niwagaba from Masaka City. How is the Ministry of Science and Technology ready to mitigate the threats brought in by the new innovation in most sectors, mainly education being the framework at which basic technology is transformed into applied technology, looking at the nature of human resource we have in place?
Let me see if I understand what the question is.
I read it again? Should I read it again?
You can read it again.
How is the ministry of, how is your ministry ready to mitigate the threats brought in by the new innovation in most sectors, mainly education, being the framework at which basic technology is transformed into applied technology, looking at the nature of human resource we have in place?
Yeah, let me try to interpret that question.
Yes.
I think the new innovation is about artificial intelligence. Mostly people are frightened about artificial intelligence and the access that we have. It's going to erode learning. It is also going to erode jobs. It is going to... Now, artificial intelligence is part of an industrial revolution. When you study the history of industrial revolutions, you cannot resist them because they are moving. You either find your way on how to flow with them, or they knock you aside, or they crush you. So what we are doing is to make sure that Ugandans join the stream. Instead of us being scared about artificial intelligence, we are planning how to harness it. We are harvesting. It's like when you have a waterfall. If you're not doing anything with a waterfall, you drown in it. But if you put a proper dam, you get electricity out of it. So we are positioned ourselves to be part. We are a source of technology for artificial intelligence. And we are positioned ourselves to be part of artificial intelligence. During the Science Week, we are going to have one of the sessions that we are going to discuss is how should artificial intelligence then change how we look at education? Because you remember, in education, we have thrived on privacy and people thinking. And for a long time, they didn't allow us to use calculators. Up to now, we don't allow our children to take phones in the classroom. But now that AI is here, we need to look at differently. How do we harness it? Must we keep on with the other system of learning, or should we adapt a faster way to harness this and focus the learning of our children onto innovation now, instead of cramming facts which we tell them they need to duplicate in the exams? Shouldn't we focus more on spending their time in school learning how to create value other than memorizing facts? So we are positioning ourselves to harness the energy in artificial intelligence rather than resist it.
Okay, there is a one, John. John here is a teacher from Gomba. My request to the minister is if we are to transform to science, let's embrace the basic learning, go back to primary schools and start changing everything from there. There is no way you can start changing an adult into a useful character. What you're doing is money-oriented, not future change. Thanks to the minister for your efforts. That is his thought. That is
I can give a brief comment to that.
Okay.
We have a strategy which we call the leap and the loop. Loop refers to our efforts and strategy to harness what we have in our history. Because historically we have advantages over the rest of the world. There are things that we have in our culture, in our knowledge, even in the fact that we were in slave trade or the fact that we were colonized. There is advantage there which we are harnessing up to the point where we have the adult scientists now. And then there is the leap. This is the strategy which positions us at the cutting edge. For example, of artificial intelligence. We want to make sure that we are not staying in history, but we are moving. So we are harnessing both the young and the mature scientists. And I want to assure our listener that it is working very well, including working with the adult scientists, but we are also strategizing to harness the young ones. And Uganda is really a discursive way. We are among the youngest nations in the world, and we are turning that into an advantage because we have workforce, we have energy. These kids are so bright, they learn things very fast. The advantage of exposure to a lot of knowledge all over the world in just one go, we are harnessing that.
All right, Dr. Cosmas, as we summarize, let's talk about the plans that the Secretariat has to foster research and development to generate more locally driven innovations for national economic growth as we wrap up.
Oh, Jethro, we have an innovation fund.
Okay.
It's our democratic fund for funding anyone, young, old, informal, professor, across the board. Of course, what we fund must align with our strategic areas. But from experience, almost everything can align. It will somehow touch a value chain. And we give them the guidance to ensure that that is happening. So the Minister of Finance gives us money every year for this fund. It's not much, but we are making the most of it. So far, we are supporting more than 100 innovators, innovation groups, I should say, so it's ventures at various stages along the idea to market journey. We have those which are starting out, we have those which are a little bit more advanced. We issue a call every year, and we want to onboard new ventures. You're not guaranteed that because we've supported you now, we'll support you tomorrow. Even those we've supported, we keep evaluating their progress because we want to ensure that they are towing the course. So we don't have multi-year funding.
Okay.
We give 1-year grants, we evaluate your progress, we support you to reach the next level. And like the Honourable Minister has mentioned, we are not in the habit of dropping things because we know that innovation is not complete until there is a product on the market. So our listeners out there, those of you who have brilliant ideas, we are open 24/7, reach out to us, and then we can support you to benefit from this fund that we have.
In 1 minute, Dr. Cosmas, your last remarks to someone who is watching right now.
this nation has supported science, but we were not seeing it impacting the economy. We are of the view that over the past 4 years, we have come up with this formula through testing and learning that is likely to lead us to the promised land. But for that to happen, it's important to know that everyone is a key stakeholder. We have that National Science, Technology and Innovation ecosystem. It's not Ministry of Science alone. It is not government agencies alone. It is the private sector. It is non-government organizations. It's the public. Because once we make these things, they have to take them. Charity begins at home. And if you can't trust your own product, then who will trust it? And we say, I know commonly we say buy Uganda, build Uganda, but our public out there, we don't want you to buy Uganda out of pity. We want you to buy our products because they are of quality.
Okay.
And we have quality products. You've seen our Chira Motors buses, you've seen our vaccines. So, in short, to Simbude, science is going to work.
Thank you, Dr. Cosmos.
Yes.
Honorable Minister, your last remarks. In about 2 minutes, Honorable, how are you even fighting corruption? Because you are dealing with a very, very sensitive sector, given the fact that you have to reach to almost every department, every sector. In about 2 minutes and we wrap up.
Thank you very much, Jethro. Jethro, you are not a stranger in Uganda. And you know that in around 2021, 2022, there was a lot of fights, especially directed at my person. And later I discovered it was because people have known me as a non-corrupt person. And so I was not going to be compromising with people to divert funds targeted at science, technology, and innovation. So we have what we call laws, the laws of science. And one of those laws at STI, we call it the brutal integrity. We have built a space where we fight corruption. I am the champion of this, and my team is really committed to this brutal integrity. Of course, things keep cropping up and we keep fighting, but we aim to create a clean ecosystem because science and corruption don't mix. Because if you have put corruption in the research, it will show up in the product. And none of us wants to board an airplane which is 10% corrupted because it will crash. You don't want a medicine which is 10% corrupted. So we are intolerant, zero, in fact, negative tolerance to corruption. So I fight this one by living and being the example. Number two, it's drummed into everybody at the Secretariat.
Okay.
And number three, I have a lot of intelligence monitoring this. And I am, if anybody in the Secretariat is trying to do it, I'll call them and say, I know what you're doing, and it is not. Watch out. So in my last words, I thank you for this moment to just have a conversation about science, technology, and innovation. Again, as I opened, there is a revolution, an industrial revolution, which is taking place. The energy, the efforts that have been built by the NRM government under the leadership of His Excellency, the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, they have reached a moment of yielding results. And this has coincided with the fourth industrial revolution globally, and it is accelerating things. And I want to speak especially to our young people that this is for you. It's not exclusive to anybody. This is for you. There are opportunities, lots of opportunities coming. We will be announcing, we have lots of internships which are available especially to young engineers who have just graduated. And many of them are looking for jobs, the internships that we are going to be announcing. And once again, we'll come back here and talk about the National Science Week, which is our premier event. It is happening starting from the 15th to the 20th of June at Kororo come and enjoy science, technology, and innovation. And I tell you, the future is bright, and the future has started for Uganda. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Thank you so much, Dr. Cosmos, for sparing time. Ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up, let us all try to remember the incredible power of innovation and the role that each of us plays to ensure that we have a brighter tomorrow. From me and the entire team, it's a good night. Ciao.
Oh, Uganda.